Eddie, you're on the phone with Buddy McGirt and Chris Gunzz.
Gentlemen, what a distinguished panel you have tonight.
doesn't get any better. I think Buddy's in a concert.
I'm not just getting these guys ready. I got a couple guys going on the 19th still. So I just came from the gym.
How's this shit doing, man?
He's doing good. He got 6 dishes, accidental headbutts. Happening in the realm of fighting, and so on and so forth.
Tough one. Buddy, are you in a concert, buddy?
I'm home in Florida with the wife and kids, man. At a little barbecue here at one of my daughter's soccer teammates' friends' house.
So a good time being had by Buddy.
Sound like you got a whole handful of people over there, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna step away from them. Hey, Chris, where you go, Chris?
Buddy is enjoying some good times, Eddie. Yeah, Buddy got away from the fun for a second. Eddie, you're in the gym right now, right? You said?
Cat is good. I just spoke to him today. He's going to take his family on a Disneyland vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And comes back, he's suspended for 30 days, so 15 of them are just about up.
Yeah.
So he'll take it from there.
All right, cool, man.
And you guys got a lot of things in common. Both East Coast guys, both New York guys. I'm sure you know each other well. I know you do. Eddie, when you think about Buddy, what comes to mind?
Masterful fighter. Masterful fighter. He was a great fighter that transitioned his game into the ring to his game outside of the ring.
Yeah. How about you, Buddy? What comes to mind when you think of Eddie Mustafa Muhammad / Eddie Gregory / Josie Wales?
Listen, I remember as a kid on a Saturday afternoon watching Eddie fight Victor Galindez for the title. Then
Afternoon
I turn
boxing.
around and I see him demolish someone's butt. He should have went to jail for that body attack he put on Marvin Johnson. I've never seen him ever in my life. Seen a guy do a body attack like that on a guy. No headshot, just whole body.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like masterful that night when he was hitting him in the man. And Marvin Johnson, as we all know, is a warrior. But them body shots was man.
Yeah.
Couldn't hit Eddie. Eddie stand in front of you and you couldn't hit him.
Yep. And why do you call Eddie Josie Wales? Where'd that come from?
I tried to fight like Eddie, but I said, the hell with this shit. I got to use my legs. I can't stand in front of nobody. I got a big head. I'm going to hit my head. I said, I'm going to hit him to the body, but I'm going to hit him and run. I ain't going to hit him and stand there. You know what I mean? So, then we became, I met him when I won the title in 88. You know what I mean? And we've always had that communication, but the biggest night of my life, I always tell everybody the story was when I fought Simon Brown. Eddie was at the gym every day to watch me train. Rain, sleet, or snow, Eddie was there, and I never forget. I got in the ring, took off my robe, and the crowd was yelling. I heard someone yell, McGirt. I looked up, it was Eddie. He pointed his finger and said, "Handle your business."
And we know Buddy calls you.
When Eddie points that finger at you, that means you better do your shit or you got to deal with Eddie when you get out.
And Buddy calls you Josie Wales, Eddie. Do you have a nickname for Buddy?
Oh, no, we have many nicknames. We cannot talk about them on the radio.
He calls me Chino's cook.
Yeah, we know the Tommy Hawk at people sometimes.
I talked to you guys both many times. I know you guys could talk all day. You guys have a good relationship, and you guys could speak on many different subjects. And nobody tells stories like you guys. Eddie, tell us something we don't know about Buddy.
Well, it's not too many things you don't know about him. He's a genuine person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's just genuine. And, you know, if he says the world is going to end tomorrow, you know, ain't no way you're going to go. Just sit on the bench and wait till your turn comes until you fall in the hole. It's a done deal. You know, he's a man of his word.
Yeah. So is there anything we don't know about Eddie, buddy?
Hey, McGirt, slow down with that.
No, all I'm gonna say is this here, man. There's so much I could tell, but you know, Eddie used the word that I got to use for him is genuine. You know, you imagine as a kid, you read about a guy named Eddie the Flame Gregory. You know what I'm saying? Then you see him on TV fighting Victor Galindez for the title. Then you see him fight Marvin Johnson and Jerry the Bull, and you know, and as a kid, I'm trying to emulate his style. I'm like, damn, this shit ain't working for me. You know what I mean? Because I was a boxing fanatic. And then you become friends with the man, and then it's like you become family, and it's like, wow. So I'm in awe of not only just being his friend, but as watching him as a kid growing up. A lot of these fighters today don't really, they just know Eddie as, oh, Eddie beat Marvin Johnson, Eddie did. I mean, Eddie did something that not no many fighters would do. He went into a prison and fought a man that had nothing to lose. Eddie had everything to lose, nothing to gain, but he did it.
Yeah. And
then, you know, he was light heavyweight champion and said, I can go up and fight heavyweights. So, you know, you don't get guys today doing that. I mean, you know, you get guys today, they say, okay, let's do a catch weight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of catch
weight. It was like, I don't give a shit what you weigh. If you're over 200, I mean, let's get it on. But I will say this. He's the only man from New York that shut down Baltimore in 1982, 83. He shut Baltimore down in 1983. So when guys start talking about Baltimore shit, I'm like, look, I know a man from New York shut it down. At least 5 hours. At least. They got the militia out there. You know what I mean? So, you know, when you see that, you know, and then you know that one thing you know about, if Eddie's your friend, he's your friend. And if you know you're anywhere, and if there's ever any problems. I mean, I've been out with Eddie at dinners and lunch, and I've seen fighters, trainers call Eddie because they're having problems with other people. They will call Eddie up.
Yeah.
And Eddie be like, McGirt, I gotta go handle his business. I'm like, go ahead, handle your business. And he'll leave and go handle it. You know, he's well respected in the game by everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some people that might not like him, but they still respect him.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know how they can't like him, but you guys are both New York fighters.
I mean, you know, I'm not gonna say don't like him, but there's jealousy. You understand?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a lot of, you know, jealousy. You know, when he got Chad back, as soon as I heard it, I called him up. I said, yo, man, you know what I mean? Because, you know, he took Chad to different levels. To beat Antonio Tarver twice, which is not an easy task.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Tarver called me back for the rematch. I mean, I called up Eddie and I said, yo, Judge. He said, oh, McGirt. He says, we will have a lot of fun. So, you know, I knew that Eddie was going to be, that night, have Chad on point. And he did. You know, I give prop.
Yeah. New York doesn't have the same amount of boxing champions being produced as there used to be when you guys were coming up. Buddy, what was it like when you were coming up in New York during those times?
Brother, listen. We didn't have midmen. We didn't pick and choose who we sparred. We sparred whoever your trainer put in the ring with you, and you didn't ask no question. You never said, check his gloves, check his headgear, get ready, and fight.
Yeah.
They, the guys say, buddy, look at the guy I'm sparring with, look at his gloves. What size gloves are they? I'd be like, don't get hit by the motherfuckers, you ain't got to worry about it.
Yeah, some tough love.
So there's been a lot of fighters that I've had that didn't like my way of doing things because I was brought up the old school way. And there's times I call up Eddie to your judge, man, look, you know, Eddie said, McGirt, get rid of him, you don't need him. Or he said, get that Kezim. Hey, McGirt, get the Kezim and keep it moving. I mean, there's very few people I call in this game that ask advice, but Eddie's one of them. I will call him and say, yo, Judge, I run it down. He said, all right, McGirt, deal with it, or McGirt, leave it alone. I mean,
what he says.
He told me, he said, McGirt, some money just not worth having sometimes.
Yeah. What was it like for you, Eddie? I'm sorry, buddy. Thought you were done, man. What was it like in your days coming up, Eddie? New York.
You know, but it is. Like Buddy said, we're both old school. And we have fun doing what we do. You know, and we're not, trainers. We're teachers of this sport. You know what I'm saying? You know, Bud calls me, I call him. We crack jokes and back and forth. But on the serious tip, if I, got a problem, I would call McGirt and Heartbeat. We're like family. We have a good time together. That's the whole key. Listen, you only got one life. You can't go around being angry at everybody, but there's so much jealousy in this boxing world. It's crazy. And you got people that say they're your friends and laugh with you, but at the end of the day, they'll take a knife and stick it in your back and turn it. But it is what it is. And like I said, I can call Buddy any time of the night. Any time of the night, he can call me. No problem.
I'm doing right now. I'm doing right now. I'll call her back. 1 second, sir. I'll call her back. All right. And boxing has changed, but it's not the same. It's not the same no more. We know a lot of everything changes, but boxing is a sport that, we got to stick together, and you don't get that no more. I mean, Eddie was, I'm giving an example. God bless Johnny Tapia. Johnny Tapia called me and said, look, he's called me Brother Love. He said, Brother Love, I know you're training our tour guy in Tara, but I need a trainer to work with me. I said, call Eddie Mustafa. So Johnny Tapia loved the Mets because my buddy can't. I said, listen, don't worry about the Mets. Call Eddie. I guarantee you'll love him. And he called me back. He's like, your brother Love, thank you. I said, call up Eddie. The hell with the other trainers in Vegas. Call up Eddie, man. Eddie be there for you. I mean, and I told Eddie, I said, Johnny might be calling you. You got to train him at his house. I said, no problem, McGirt. And so you can't do that today. If you send a guy, if you ask a guy today to watch your fighter, you come back, you might not have your fighter no more.
Well, no, you will not have your fighter. He will disappear. It's just not the same, man. That's why when I see a lot of the trainers from the old school together, I like that. I like that, and a lot of these fighters, they don't really appreciate that. I mean, so and it kind of like, sometimes it makes my stomach turn. People tell me, oh, buddy, you got to change. I said, I'm going to change, but there's certain things I'm just not going to change. Because at the end of the day, we know what it takes to get there, and more importantly, we know what it takes to stay there. I mean, look what Eddie did with Iran Barkley. In 1991, Iran Barkley, no one would give him a fight. They said he was done. He brought Iran back. He knocked out Darren Van Horn. Then he beat Tommy Hearns the second time. I mean, that was a task that people didn't think anybody could do. Eddie did it.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And you guys are both great fighters, both great trainers, and you both got inducted into the New York Hall of Fame a couple months ago. Buddy, what was that like? You guys went in together.
Man, it was good to be with a bunch of old. Like I said at the dinner, you might get guys that might be better than us as fighters, but as people, it'll be 100 years before they get them again.
Yeah.
Because, we laughed, we joked, we had a great time, and we tried to, Eddie don't drink, but I know I tried to drink up all the capacity they had, but they had too much. But at the end of the day, we had a good time. It was like a family reunion. All the guys that used to box each other, to spar each other. Eddie was there with, his former champion, Iran. And Eddie was like the mentor there, Like all the fighters, they looked up to Eddie. All of them.
Yeah.
I mean, every fighter that got inducted, looked up, even Bobby Cassidy. You don't look up to too many people. Look up to Eddie. I mean, that's why I was glad that Eddie got to make the speech last, because, you closed the show with something good, and it was good to see him there with his family, his grandkids, and it was good just to be around old friends, man. It was a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, you could call Eddie the Godfather. Eddie, what was it like for you?
What was that, Chris?
What was it like for you being inducted in New York Hall of Fame?
It was a great atmosphere. I mean, some of us laugh, some of us cry, you know, and some of us just rejoice because of our peers recognizing us as being one of the best, you know, and it was an honor to be inducted with Buddy, you know, in Iran, Bobby Cassidy. But you know, it was a great feeling that even today, when I walk past my championship belt, my Hall of Fame championship belt, you know, I think of Buddy with his crazy self. He was telling jokes all over the podium. You know, I mean, it was just a time that you will never forget. That was one of the greatest times I've had in my life, and sharing it with people that are real close to me. I had a great time doing that.
Yeah, you mentioned Iran Barkley and Bobby Cassidy.
I gotta tell you a funny story. I'm in the gym in Brooklyn one day, and this guy come up to me and goes, "Buddy, you know my uncle." I looked at him and I said, "You gotta be related to Eddie." He said, "How you know?" I said, "You took your hat off. I saw that head. I said, that's got to be related to Eddie." Monty Barry said that me and Eddie Mustafa have the biggest heads in boxing.
And you go to see Monty Barry's head.
Eddie was training Monty. I never forget, we was in Vegas, about 110 degrees outside. Monty said, "Eddie, you got this car, but you ain't got no convertible. I mean, you don't have no air conditioning." He said, "Yes, I do. When I let the windows down, I'm going to let all the air blow in this motherfucker if you want."
That's right.
Eddie said, "I'm not letting the top down, it's too hot. But the AC is going to be when I let down the windows." And Monty jumped around with him, but they took off.
he was sweating like a runaway slave.
But now, if you get a fighter today, and you say, "Look, man, you get in my car with no AC," they want limos, man. They don't want to pay their tolls, man.
Mm. Yeah.
And I mean, so when you get guys like that, when you can sit around and laugh and joke, man, it's a lot of fun.
Yep. Agreed. And Iran Barkley, you mentioned, Bobby Cassidy. You had Junior Jones and Mark Breland, Joey Archer. You had Doug Jones, the first man who deserved a win over Muhammad Ali, a lot of people think. And those are just the living people. Amongst the people no longer here with us is Johnny Dundee and Sandy Sadler, Maxie Rosenblum, and last but not least, Jack Dempsey. That's a hell of a class, 2013. Was that the best class ever? Eddie?
We had a lot of fun that day. Like I said, I'll never forget that day.
And then when I parked my car at valet, I gave my wife the valet ticket. She said, "I guess you don't plan on driving." I said, "Hell to the no."
Nice.
Buddy's wife think Jamil McGirt is the greatest fighter in the world.
Man, my wife and Eddie, they be calling each other up making bets, man. When Jamil McGirt fights, she could be fighting Donald Duck. Eddie's going with Donald Duck. I mean, you know, call him up later at night. My wife says, "Who you calling?" I said, "I'm calling Eddie." She goes, "Oh shit, tell him Jamil's fighting." And you know, but Jamil's a good friend of ours. Jamil's a good friend of ours, and you know, so we know, you know, if Jamil's fighting, my wife knows she got a bet going on.
Yeah.
So she like, "Buddy, call Eddie, we gotta make this bet." I'm like, "All right, babe." We have a lot of fun, man. You know, we look out for each other. You know, I mean, it's hard to get that anymore, man.
Yeah. And shockingly, you neither one of you are in Canastota. Eddie, does it bother you that you're not in Canastota yet? And why does Buddy belong in Canastota, Eddie?
You know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't really bother me because I have the love of family and friends. My kids, my grandkids, I'm not worried about what a few so-called boxing experts think about me and Buddy. Listen, we're loved by many. You know, so we're already in their Hall of Fame in their heart. So I don't worry about that. You know, I really don't worry about it. If they don't call me, listen, life goes on. Buddy Church, he definitely belongs in the Hall of Fame. He's a two-time champion. He's the trainer of the year. He definitely belongs in the Hall of Fame. But, you know, and I'm not a prejudiced guy, and I never will be a prejudiced guy. I'm just a guy that is shoot it straight. You know, you got a guy like Freddie Roach, who I like Freddie, but he was in the Hall of Fame as a fighter. Oh, brother. Really? That don't look right.
I mean, I got nothing against Virgil Hill, but they had dug Virgil Hill over Eddie as light heavyweight champion. You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
I have nothing against Virgil. Nice guy, good fighter. Great fighter, no. Good fighter, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, so I mean, you know, like Eddie says, you know, you got the poll of whoever does the poll. You know, they select who they want to select, which I ain't mad at nobody. But like Eddie said, at the end of the day, you know, we got love from people that no matter what, we in their Hall of Fame, so that's all that matters.
Yeah.
That's it.
So it don't bother you, buddy, that you're not in yet?
Love.
I'm sorry, Eddie. What'd you say?
I said they showed us much love when we were inducted into the New York Hall of Fame. So that was our Hall of Fame right there.
Yep.
And New York's always been the boxing capital.
Yes, it is.
That's right.
So we're in that Hall of Fame, baby. We're ahead of the game.
Yep. So it doesn't bother you that you're not in Canastota, buddy? Doesn't bother you?
Huh?
Doesn't bother you that you're not in Canastota?
Honestly, it doesn't, because when I go to Canastota, I have a great time. And they treat me well. We have a lot of fun. But, you know, people ask me, your buddy, man, that don't bother me because, you know what? I know who loves me. I know who's got my back. So that's all that matters.
Yeah.
I mean, there's great fans up there. The fans show me a lot of love. I have a lot of fun up there. But if they, you know, I mean, if I don't live this year, they induct me, so be it.
Yeah. There's a few.
But they know I've been there because I've had a lot of fun up there.
Yeah. And you guys trained a few different guys that you have in common that you both trained. One of them is James Toney. That's one of my all-time favorite fighters. But you just recently worked with him for his last fight, a losing fight to Australian Lucas Brown. You weren't in his corner, of course, but he's not the same fighter he used to be. But can you tell us about James? Something that not everybody knows.
That Eddie Mustafa is the only man you don't talk shit to.
Knows better.
I mean, hey, listen, I'm going to tell you a funny story, man. We was in Vegas 1994. Him and Eddie was talking trash about a basketball game. So we all go out to play. So I'm on Eddie's team. We're in New York against Detroit. So Eddie asked me, could I play? I said, yeah. I can't play basketball to save my life. They passed me the ball. I missed. Eddie said, don't give the ball to McGirt no more. I'm running up and down the court. I'll be open. Nobody passed me the damn ball.
He was over for a layup. He wouldn't pass the ball.
Eddie said, don't give McGirt the ball. After I missed that first shot, Eddie said, don't give McGirt the ball no more. Let's let him run around out here. But we had a lot of fun, man. We had a ball out there, man.
But at the end of the day, Buddy made the winning shot.
Who's Tony?
Who's that?
You know how they passed me the ball? They rolled it to me. And James Tony came to block it, and I did a pump fake, and he jumped up, and I threw it up. I said, please go in, and it went in. You know what I mean?
All net.
If I'd have missed that one, they probably would have kicked me out the gym. Eddie got the guy in Vegas to open this gym, man, and we had the time of our life in there, man.
You said that was back in 1994. Was James in shape at the time?
Hell no. None of us was in shape.
That was tough in that first quarter.
That was the night before Evander Holyfield lost to Michael Moore.
Okay. April 21st, then. I remember that. April 22nd, that fight was.
Well, James Toney is still the ugliest man in boxing.
Eddie, he might be pissed off if he hears this.
I wish he would say something about him being pissed off. Man, please.
Listen, James don't mess with Eddie. James don't mess with Eddie. Talk trash and joke, man. James. You don't mess with Eddie.
And Eddie, I remember you
He
talking.
argue every day. You know what I mean? But when I tell him I'm going to call Eddie, he stops calling me. He said, fuck you, buddy, and hang up on me.
Wow. See, I didn't know if James Toney had that same attitude when the cameras weren't on. I guess he does.
But you know what? It's too ugly. He does it more in a joking way.
Yeah.
I mean, if he likes you, he'll joke with you and talk trash to you. You know what I mean? But you know who he respects and who he don't.
Mm-hmm. And Eddie, I think it was you who told me something about James Toney getting into an argument in your house. I think it was it?
Oh, he got into an argument with, I gave a party at my house one time, so we was all having dinner and cocktails and things like that, hors d'oeuvres. I tried to make it a nice, pleasant atmosphere. I live in a nice neighborhood, and Mike McCallum just happened to drop by, and they started talking about the fights they had. And they wanted to get into actual fisticuffs. So I politely went into my bedroom and pulled out my Magnum 357 with the long handle. And I said, none of this in my home, sir. And they ceased the argument.
So that was that. Eddie don't play.
Oh, man, we've had some good times.
He's still fighting. What do you guys think about that?
Eddie introduced me to, God bless him, may rest in peace, a man by the name of Lloyd Wells.
E.A. Wells.
And we saw Lloyd on TV at an old Ali fight, and Eddie called me up at midnight and said, look at Tonto on TV. He looked like Tonto.
The man was a half Indian. He had that long curly hair, always wore a sailor cap.
Him and Gene Kilroy.
I called Kilroy, I think. I'll give him a call after we hang up. I can see how he's doing. I hadn't talked to Gene in a while.
So those I mean, we could go on with stories, man. We could go on with stories, I know for sure. Man.
I remember, like, right before when James was training for Lucas Brown, I asked him how much he weighed, and he got really offended. So, do you let him know? If you're training him, do you let him know how upset you are with him, buddy, with the shape he's in?
I didn't train him for the Lucas Brown fight. They called me and asked me.
Okay.
I said, Pops, how's his weight? And Pops like, his weight is down, but he's starting to eat again. He's like a big kid, man. He'll train hard and go out and get a bucket of chicken and eat it.
Jeez.
And think
by himself.
Yeah, exactly. He goes, I didn't eat no bread. But no, you ate a bucket of chicken, man.
He's like Kenny Rogers. That's his favorite food, Kenny Rogers. He kept Kenny Rogers in the black all the time.
Yeah.
So
you guys are both great trainers, but you're both coming off losses. Last time we saw you in fights that everyone saw on TV. Eddie, you're coming off your disappointment with Chad Dawson. Buddy, did you see that fight, and what'd you think of it?
You know what, to be honest, I didn't see the fight. When I got home, it was over.
It was over before you even got home.
Yeah, I was out at dinner, and I left the meeting to go catch the fight because the restaurant we was eating didn't have HBO.
The only chance we got to see Eddie that night was when he was telling the referee it was over too fast. That's it. We didn't have a chance to hear you, Eddie. No chance to hear you in the
I
corner.
told the referee, I let him know that I was very upset that the referee, during our initial meeting, said that he would, in the event of a knockdown, he would give the fighter every individual chance to stand up. He told us, if you get knocked down, I want you to stand up, put your hands up, and step to me. And if I'm not mistaken, that's what Chad did. And the referee just stopped the fight. And I went over there and asked him, I said, sir, I don't mean no harm, that you are a fictitious liar. And I put the stamp of approval on the liar part because he told me what he was going to do in the event of a knockdown. And he got up, took a step forward, hands up in the air. The referee asked him, was he all right? The referee spoke French, so maybe if we'd have spoken French, everything would have been cool. Like bonjour, très bien, merci,
Wow, I didn't know you had it.
Stop the fight,
I didn't know you could communicate in French.
Oh, oui, monsieur. I took French in class.
That's some gangster stuff right there. Communicate in any language.
Oh, I'm an international guy. That's what I do.
That's right. And last time we saw you, buddy, was just this past Saturday, a few days ago. Matthew Macklin, well, he was getting destroyed by Triple G. At least we got a chance to hear you talk in the corner, not like Eddie. You had more TV time than Eddie did. What'd you think of that fight, Eddie? Did you see that fight?
I saw that fight. Listen, I've seen Matthew's fight on numerous occasions. And listen, it is what it is. You just got a guy that is a tremendously hard hitter, and he knows how to place his punches. And Matthew just got caught with a great punch to the body. I've hit guys with the same punch, and they never recuperate. Mm-hmm. And it just takes everything out you.
Yeah. I was there at the fight, and I'm telling you, you could hear that shot. You heard it, and you heard the scream.
But Macklin came to me after the fight and said, buddy, when he started putting pressure on me, I panicked. I said, that's the time that you have to remain calm. When the guy's putting a lot of pressure, I said, you got 12 rounds. So when guys putting pressure on you early, that's when you got to remain calm. When you panic, that's when you get hit with crazy shots. That's what happened.
Yeah. And Golovkin's one of the most calmest guys you'll ever see in the ring.
But you gotta remember, Macklin knocked out Alcine with that same shot.
Mm-hmm. That's what he said in the ring after. Yep.
Yeah, he knocked him out with the same. I was here. I was there. Mm-hmm. He hit him with that left hook to the body. It just decapitated him.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever take a hard left to the body like that, Eddie?
No, because if anybody was to try to do that to me, I would shoot him.
How about you, buddy? Did you ever take a left hook to the liver like that?
I fought Saul Manby in 1986. Saul had never been knocked out. And I hit him with a right hand and his legs buckled. I went in for the kill. Threw a right hand. He slipped it and hit me in the liver. And my brakes just went on automatic. And we got in the clinch. He said to me, slow your young ass down. I said, you got that one, sir.
I think Saul is still fighting now.
I will box the remainder of the fight. I am not going for the kill anymore, but that shit hurt.
Did you tell Matthew that story?
Huh?
Did you tell Matthew that story after?
No, I didn't tell him after. No, he was just like, buddy, I'm sorry. I said, man, look. I try to tell every fighter, when a guy is coming at you like that, that's when you got to remain calm. That's what separates the great fighters from normal fighters. I mean, you got to remain calm under pressure. You can't panic. If you panic, you're in a world of trouble.
Yeah. Yep. And you mentioned Johnny Tapia calling you, buddy, and asking you what he should do, and you directed him to Eddie. What makes Eddie such a good trainer and such an effective trainer?
Because Eddie's going to tell you like it is.
Plain and simple.
He's not going to pull no punches. He's not going to tell you what you want to hear. He's going to tell you what he see and how it is. I'm going to give you an example. When I worked with Fernando Vargas, they were like, oh, buddy, you look great, look great. Yeah. I called up to Eddie. I said, McGirt, you look great in spot. You still got more work to do. I was like, okay, cool. Now everybody's, oh, you made a transformation. I'm saying to myself, I didn't make no goddamn transformation. I mean, I want somebody to go tell me the truth. I call up Eddie, and he said, McGirt, you look good in spot. and you still got work to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so, you know, a lot of trainers today tell fighters what they want to hear. I mean, that's not good.
Yep. And you know what I notice about you guys? If you have a question, you don't mind asking it. So a lot of trainers want to feel like they have all the knowledge in their own head, and they won't reach out and ask anyone. But you guys will ask.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat. I mean, I pick up the phone, like, ask Eddie a question about working with a fighter, and they say, "Hey, McGirt, try this or try that." I mean, I'm not ashamed to say it. People say, "I say, I ask Eddie." Well, you know what I mean? And God bless Eddie Fudge, when he was alive, I had to speak to Eddie Fudge. I had to speak to Georgie Benton. Almost done. I had to speak to Georgie Benton. You know, I had to speak to all those old trainers, man, pick their brain.
Yep.
The time you think that you know it all is time for the trainer to retire.
Those are
Like,
smart
you know,
ones.
Eddie was fighting when I was a kid. I'm not going to walk up and say I know more than him. Hell no. He came up in the 70s, man, when, Benny Briscoe, Cyclone Hart. You know what I mean? Vito Antifermo. These are warriors this man fought.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
and if he gives me some advice, how am I not going to? Why? Because I'm a trainer of champions? So what? Never shame in asking.
Yeah. And I asked you what makes Eddie so good. Eddie, what makes Buddy such an effective trainer? Same thing?
Knowledge. He's one of the most knowledgeable guys out there. I mean, like I said, a two-time world champion. And when you can take other people, other fighters, to win world champions, that closes the show right there. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, he's taken many guys to world titles. You know, my favorite that Bud ever trained was Johnny Tapia and Arturo. You know, I've known both of those guys real good. You know, we had a lot of fun together. But Buddy's knowledge of the game, you know, if you sit and listen to him talk to his guys in the corner, you know, you would know that this guy knows the game of boxing.
Yeah. Yep. And you already mentioned, Buddy, how you guys were in opposing corners when Chad Dawson and Antonio Tarver fought the second time. Was that the only time you guys were in opposing corners, or was there another?
Yeah.
Only
Was
time.
it?
So you know you have your work cut out for you when the other guy's being trained by someone great like Eddie, right?
Yeah, you know, when Chad beat Antonio the first time I was there,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, "Your buddy, man, who gave Chad that strategy?" I said, "That man right there."
Yeah.
I said, "You guys go back, YouTube Eddie." And what I loved about him, how Eddie was with Chad, he remained calm in the corner. I mean, and Chad respected him. And when you get that fight, I respect the trainer and looks up to the trainer. You get the best out of him.
Yeah.
If he doubts you, or if he thinks he knows it all, then you're beating the dead horse.
Without a doubt.
I know you guys are both busy. You guys live on opposite sides of the country. I'm sure every time you guys get together, it's a guaranteed good time, like you guys said already. How often do you see each other?
Shit, man, we can see each other sometime for not 6 months. Then we can see each other every month for 7 months.
Yeah.
When I go to Vegas when I land, I call Eddie. I say, "Yo, Judge, I'm in town."
Guaranteed good times.
See, it used to
Oh,
be like
without a doubt.
2002. You call Eddie on a Sunday morning. He was taking his twin daughters to Krispy Kreme. Now they
Every
take
Sunday.
Sunday. Eddie said,
Look, now I'm broke. I just brought them two brand new Nissan Altimas matching. You know, I have twin daughters. So they're in college now. So that was my gift to them.
See, that's when you can do that. That's when all the hard work and the aggravation dealing with these fighters, it pays off.
Yeah. I'm sure that whenever you
I don't
guys
mean to
get,
cut this short, but my
Yeah.
wife and them are calling me. I'm at a soccer party for my daughter's soccer team.
well, the great Eddie Mustafa Muhammad and the great Buddy McGirt, thanks for this opportunity, guys, and thanks for what you've given to the sport, and thanks for what you keep on giving. it's better off with the fact that you guys were in it. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Well, I told you, I said Jamil McCline is fighting next week.
I will let her know when I get back into the crowd. She might have me call you back, Dutch. All right. You'll be good.
Thank
Be
you,
cool,
guys.
baby.
Appreciate it.
Take care, Chris.
Take care, Eddie.
All right.